Hi everyone, welcome back to the Property Finance Podcast, and today I'm going to talk about probably one of the biggest questions that we get asked, whether it's doing a talk, whether it's been on social media, whatever it may be. This is without a shadow of a doubt one of the biggest questions that we get asked, and that's how do you finance modern methods of construction? So we're talking modular construction, we're talking ICF, that kind of thing. So all these new amazing ways of building houses, 3D printing houses, all these kind of things. How do you finance them? Because a lot of them, when you take modular construction, for example, or timber frame construction, what happens is essentially the lenders, because they finance in arrears on development finance, they can only finance materials, etc., that have been on site and installed. The problem you have is that a lot of the modular construction and modern methods of construction, they require upfront payments in order to essentially construct the framing, etc., in their warehouses, and then another payment when they obviously transport it to site. So from a cash flow perspective, you end up in a situation where actually, as a developer, you can't finance these new ways of construction. I say new ways, they've been around for a long time, but a lot of people refer to them as new. So what tends to happen is you either have to bring in a private investor, or there has to be some other way of maybe a JV with the manufacturer, for example. However, that being said, we've had a number of occasions where what we've managed to do is we've managed to work with lenders who have then put in place something called a vesting certificate. What that means is that essentially the lender takes control of that asset. So what happens is they will work with the, let's say, timber frame manufacturing. They will work with the timber frame manufacturer. They will put this vesting certificate in place. That means they take control of that. It means that they can forward fund, which essentially means that they can pay for that timber frame to be constructed, delivered, X, Y, Z, without you having to finance it first. It also means that if the timber frame construction warehouse, whatever you want to call it, goes bust, it also means that the lender has control of those assets. Obviously, if they go bust, they can then take them through that as well. So what it does is it opens the doors to a lot more developers to be able to go down this route, because as we know through modular construction XYZ, it dramatically decreases the amount of time that build is going to take. So you save huge amounts of money on interest, because obviously you're not waiting for months on end for materials to be delivered and installed and everything else. Everything's done and delivered to site as a pre-constructed fabrication. So it just saves huge amounts of money. And it's always been the biggest hurdle for a lot of developers we deal with, is that they go to development finance lenders, and development finance lenders saying, well, we can't give you the money to do this. You need to put private investment in place, which again is very difficult to find. We've done loads of episodes around obviously finding private investment. But what this does is it just opens the door for more of these methods of construction to be available. And for us, it's been massive. We've managed to do a fair few of these deals recently, whereby people are doing modular construction or ICF, especially being involved with things like the Property Developer Show, obviously has brought these modern methods of construction to the forefront of people's minds. If any of you have not been to the shows, I'd highly recommend it, because you do come across a lot of different things which are, as a developer, great to sort of see, all under one roof as well. So I think from a broker's perspective, being able to put these vesting certificates in place just means it allows us to go to clients and say, well, actually, you don't need to go and find private investment. You can just put this in place. Lenders are happy. Everything's forward funded. You can save on the interest, and it just opens way more doors. So in terms of answering that question, hopefully that's been really, really helpful for those of you that are looking at getting into this. It was just a short, sweet episode, because it doesn't need a huge hour-long episode to kind of talk through this. But yeah, hopefully it's been really, really helpful. And as always, please do share on social media if you've enjoyed this, especially as this is one of the most asked questions that we get. I think it's well worth sort of sharing it about. If you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, whatever, please leave a review. And again, please share where you can. Thank you very much for listening. Catch you on the next one.